Welcome back to this third segment in our PowerPoint Skills Development series. In this segment, we're going to discuss adding animations for text and graphics, as well as adding slide transitions to your presentation. At the end of this presentation, you'll be able to add basic and custom animations to your graphics, add basic animations to your text, use the animation pane to sync your text animations and narrations, and add slide transitions to individual slides or the entire presentation. Let's look at the different graphics that I had on the previous slide. The person with the sound wave and the arrow are both Microsoft Clip Art. The person does not have any edits to it, however the arrow has a color adjustment. The picture right here is a free stock image from morguefile.de. The original picture looks like this. This picture had several edits to it to include a frame, cropping, and softened edges. All of these edits are demonstrated in segment 2 of this series. These three graphics had basic animations applied to them. The color stream faded from the left bottom corner to the center. The person with the sound waves rose up from the bottom, and the arrow became visible from left to right, the direction that the arrow was pointing. To add the first animation, go to the navigation bar and select Animations. To the right, select the button Animation Pane. This will open a dialog box to the right of the slide you're working on where you can see all of the animations, the order that they will occur in, as well as the timing and length of animations. We're going to start with the person first because it has the most basic animations. So select the person. On the navigation pane, select Float In. So up here are all of your choices. You can arrow down to see the choices. We're going to select Float In. You can see the animation there. To the right is Effect Options. Select the down arrow and you'll see all of the options that you have for that particular animation. Different animations have different options. So we're going to select Float Up. Alright, as you can see, your first animation is in the pane. Let's look at the color stream graphic. For this graphic, I applied the shape animation. So select the graphic and then go to the top and select the animation that you'd like to apply. In this case, we had shape. Now, as you can see, the graphic animated from the inside to the outside. We want it from the outside to the inside. So on Effect Options, we want from in to out and in a circle. It should be there. There we go. In a circle. Whoops. Perfect. All right, so now let's look at the arrow. The arrow was the easiest one. This one was a wipe. So let's go back up here and select wipe. As you can see, that's the wrong way, so go to Effect Options, and you have 4 options here. We want to go in the direction of the arrow. There are a variety of ways that you can use and combine options. We'll look at combining multiple animations on the next slide. However, before we move on, there's an animation that I'd like to show you that I think you'll find very useful. The animation that we're going to create is a highlighted circle. This is great when you're talking about text and you want to highlight something, or there's a picture and you want to draw attention and highlight that particular item on the picture. So what we're going to do is go up to Insert and select Shape and then Circle. All right, so as you can see, this has a fill in it and it has an outside circle. So we're going to double click on this and bring up the fill, and we have no fill, so we want no fill here. And then the outline, we want it to be a bright yellow. Now if you go back to animations and you select wheel, now you're drawing a highlighted circle around text or a picture, whatever it is. All right, so let's move on to custom animations. Adding custom animation can be very easy. In the overview, the first animation on the color stream picture was a shape animation where it faded from the inside out. Then the animation grew larger as the stars moved around the color stream in the direction that the colors flowed. First, let's add the second animation to the color stream. As you can see in the animation pane over here, the picture has the shape animation. First, we're going to select the graphic, then go to the navigation bar under Animations and select Add an Animation. If you simply select another animation without selecting the Add Animation button, you will replace the existing animation instead of adding to it. So select Add Animation and then select Grow to Shrink. Now we have two animations on the same graphic. To make the stars move around the color stream, I selected a graphic from Microsoft Clipart. The original graphic had 3 stars in it. I cropped the image so that it was only the star that I wanted. Now to add the animation, be sure that you place the star where you want it to begin at the bottom here. It's off the screen, so it will come on the screen and then go back off the screen. So go up to the animation types and scroll through to the bottom to custom path. Now with the cursor, you're going to trace the path that you want the star to follow. So left click and draw the line all the way off. And then double click. There you go. Now we will repeat the process with the second star. Put a little swirl in here, and then off it goes. Perfect. Now let's press play over in the animation pane and see what happens. So we have all of the animations, but they're not timed in the same way as they were on the original slide. But we'll get to that in a minute. But before we do that, let's look at how to add animations to text. Adding animations to text is similar to adding animations to a graphic. Select the text that you would like to animate and go to the Animation tab to select the type of animation. Here we're going to have the title fade in. Try to keep animations similar. If you change an animation type, be sure that you have a reason for the change. Otherwise, viewers will find it distracting. So let's go to Overview and select Fade. And you'll see the animation appear over here. To add animations to a group of text, you'll follow the same steps. So let's select this group of text here and fade. Sometimes the text will appear all at once, and sometimes they'll appear one at a time, as you saw here. This is a timing issue, so let's talk about timing next. The only item missing from the slide is the audio, which I've just inserted. Now let's look at the sequence and timing of the animations. Under the animation pane, let's play the animations. As you can see, both the sequence and the timing of the animations do not match the overview slide. First, let's move the audio symbol off from the slide so it's not visible when the presentation plays. When the slide opens, we want the audio to begin to play, so you need to drag the audio animation to the top of the list so it will play first. Then you need to set the audio to start with previous. So up here at start with previous. As you move each of the text and graphic animations into sequence, you need to set the start to with previous. This is because we're using an audio narration. If you select after previous, then the animation will not start until after the narration is finished. Next, we want the overview to fade in as the audio begins playing. As you can see, the overview is number 5 in the animations. So you want to drag this up to the second spot and again set to with previous. Next, you want the text for basic animations to fade in with the color stream picture, here and here. So you need to move the text and the color stream under basic animation. So let's move the text up first. As you can see, none of the text is visible here. If you select the arrow, now you can see each one of the text. So we want to move the picture, the first animation, up under basic animations. Follow the same process for custom animation, and then the grow to shrink, we'll move it down one. And we want the stars to move around at the same time. So we're going to move those up. There was no graphic for the text basic animations, so we don't move an animation under here. The text sync to narrations was matched to the person with the wave sounds, and the add slide transitions went with the arrow. All right, so let's check to make sure everything's on with previous. Now all of the animations are in sequential order, and we need to set the timing. There are likely a number of ways that you can set the timing. What works for me is to write the first word of the text down on a sticky note, and then to watch the timing here and to write down the number as I get to that particular text, and then go back and set the text and the animations with it. So after writing down the first word of each one of these texts and listening to the audio play, I determined which number corresponded to when the text began. So now I'm going to go ahead and insert it into the delay. So go to basic animation. This was 4. So I'll press 4 and enter. We want the animation for the picture to go with the basic animation text. Custom animation was 5. Basic text was 7. You can see the corresponding number down here. Sync text was 10. And slide transitions was 14. All right, so let's play it again. At the end of this presentation, you'll be able to add basic and custom animations to your graphics, add basic animations to your text, use the animation pane to sync your text animations and narrations, and add slide transitions to individual slides or the entire presentation. As you saw, some of the timing of the animations were a little bit short. So the way to fix that is to come up to the actual animation and look at duration. The typical duration is 2. This is a 0.5, so we'll enter 2. Next, we're going to stagger these two right here. Now let's try that again. At the end of this presentation, you'll be able to add basic and custom animations to your graphics, add basic animations to your text, use the animation pane to sync your text animations and narrations, and add slide transitions to individual slides or the entire presentation. Awesome. Now let's talk about slide transitions. Adding slide transitions adds professional polish to the presentation. However, make sure that the slide transition that you select works with the text animations that you selected. To add slide transitions, go to the navigation bar and select the Transitions tab. Similar to the animation types, there is a box with different transitions that you can try out, as well as available effect options. To add transitions to one slide, select the slide and then select the transition. If you want to apply the same transition to all the slides, select the transition and then select Apply to All Slides. When applying to all slides, take special note of the Advanced Slide option here. Be sure to set the timing to after 15, after and 15. However, set the opening and closing slides to 5. This is because you typically have less narration on the opening and closing slides. If you have section headers that introduce a new topic, set these to 5 as well. Be sure to play the slideshow and watch the timing of transitions. Take note of any slides that are too short in duration or too long in duration in comparison to the narration text. Then make the adjustments here. To view the slideshow, go to Slideshow and View from Beginning. It'll run you all the way through the slideshow with the transitions and the animations and the narrations. The one exception to editing the time requirement in the after is for a video. If you insert a video, the timing is edited in a different area. So that's it for adding transitions. Easy. So let's review. In this presentation, we discussed and demonstrated adding basic and custom animations to your graphics, adding basic animations to text and syncing it to your narrations as well as the graphics, and adding slide transitions to your presentation. You should now have the knowledge and skills to create a professional-looking presentation. Please let me know if you have any questions about adding animations or slide transitions to your Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. The next segment in this series will demonstrate how to create and insert audio narrations and add music to your presentation.